My haunted doll wants to be buried, help. Posted by u/witchartist. On May 9th of this year, I went to a flea market to browse. I passed by a clear cabinet that held an assortment of old antique dolls, and I was particularly drawn to an old, cracked doll wearing a hat with feathers. As I examined her closer, I noticed that she had a cloth body, but her arms, head, and legs were made of some type of plastic, or possibly porcelain. I felt very drawn to her and was surprised by her price, only $35. She wasn't in very good condition, and is clearly rather old based on the cracks in her body and the way her face is painted on. I returned to the cashier with the doll, and immediately, the workers who had been deep in conversation halted and fell quiet. They proceeded to tell me a little more about the doll, who supposedly hexes anyone who inconveniences her. This only made me feel more inclined to purchase her, as someone who is very interested in the paranormal and as it is part of my faith, Wicca, so I ended up buying her. My younger sister, 11, wasn't very happy that I'd bought the doll, whose name was Madame Leonora. She felt very thrown off by the doll's presence, and requested that the doll be placed in the trunk on the ride home. I didn't want to upset the doll in case I got hexed, but my parent insisted that I put the doll in the trunk. So, I did. That same day, I almost went to the hospital after an accident at my home. Similar disturbing events happened around the home whenever someone insulted Madame or did something she didn't like. These events pose a possible trauma trigger for some people, so I won't be specifying what the said events are. Just know they were serious, and they were awful. I began giving Madame gifts, and saying good morning and good night to her every day. The first day that I gave her a gift, a package I hadn't been expecting for another 2 weeks came in the mail. Every time I give her a gift, she gives me good luck. Madame and I had formed a friendship, but towards late June, I began having strange, very specific dreams. In these dreams, Madame would climb down off the shelf she lives on, and escort me outside. We'd light candles and perform a ritual, and then I'd bury Madame in a box with the gifts I've given her over the months. As soon as the dream ends, I wake up. So, with the knowledge I have because of my Wiccan faith, I decided to hold a seance of sorts, in order to communicate with the spirit hosting my doll. I lit a candle and used a pendulum with a board to communicate. The candle flame responded to everything I said, and I've never seen such clear responses through my pendulum before. Based on what I got out of the session, Madame was able to tell me that she would like to be buried, but won't reveal to me why. I've never sensed any negative energy around Madame before, but with each passing day, the air in my room feels heavier, if that makes any sense. I'd like to fulfill her wish and bury her, because I think she may be a Victorian mourning doll, but the vendors who sold her have no information on her at all, only that she makes bad things happen. If she is indeed a Victorian mourning doll, it would make sense why she wants to be buried. The only problem is, she won't tell me why I have to bury her. If anyone can tell me if there's any dangers in burying her, if there's anything I should know about this, or what I can do to identify what time period she's from, I'd really appreciate the help. Update. I woke up this morning and was pleasantly surprised by the amount of attention my first post received. I'd like to thank everyone for the concern and the help, and I decided to sit down and type this up because of the concerns I'm getting. I even got my laptop out to type this up. I'll be going through some information on my experiences with the paranormal, some events that have occurred while Madame has been living in my home, and what I'll be doing with Madame based on research and the advice from members of my coven as well as trusted psychic mediums. To begin, I've been working with the paranormal for 10 years now, when my mother introduced it to me after she noticed my sensitivity to haunted places and objects. The first experience I ever had was very young in the first home I ever lived in. It began when I started noticing shadowy figures around my home, and items would fall off shelves or get lost. My mother came home one night with her sister after a ghost hunt in an abandoned Buffalo jail, I believe. I didn't know where they'd been, only that I had noticed a shadow enter our home behind them. I explained what I'd seen, and that's when my journey to Wicca began. Not long after this experience, my mother decided to take me on a ghost hunt in St. Augustine with her, to the famed haunted lighthouse. Throughout my journey through the lighthouse, I felt a tugging towards a specific window and was later told that a woman was often seen in that specific window. I felt hands on my back and shoulders the entire time I was there, and my shoes kept coming untied. I was little then, so that first experience scared me for a long while, until I felt a pull towards a shop in Gettysburg while we were visiting on vacation. We bought some equipment to communicate with spirits near the Sachs-covered bridge, and while I was there, 3 spirits came into contact with me, a Confederate soldier, a Union soldier, and a little girl who had died in the house on the property. Each one connected with me through my emotions, and they expressed to me the pain they felt when they died. All of them did not want to pass on, either for fear of the afterlife, or the unwillingness to let their past life go. I returned to Gettysburg 3 times, and each time, the spirits would connect with me and talk with me about their lives. After my first experience in Gettysburg, I decided to speak with 2 psychics, and both told me they believed me to be an empath. I embraced this after some research, and ever since, spirits have been twice as drawn to me. They come to me with their problems and I do my best to resolve them. I never wanted to conform to a specific faith because of my many different beliefs about the afterlife, the paranormal, and anything spiritual, until I found Wicca. Most of what I believe aligns well with the faith, so I began my practice with it and found that I love every part of it. The reason for my brief stories on my experiences is to ease the minds of some people who believe me to be inexperienced. I do very much appreciate the concern. It's lovely to know people have my back and urge me to be careful, because I wholeheartedly agree that safety is 100% necessary when communicating with any spirit. To add on to that, I noticed many comments of people who were denouncing Madam, calling her a demon. I'd like to ease the minds of people who believe Madam to be a demon. Madam has never physically harmed anyone in this household. Let me explain jinxes, hexes, and curses. A jinx is like a practical joke. It's really just a nuisance of a spell that's gone very quickly. They're practically a mosquito in your life. A hex is a mildly inconveniencing spell meant to dissuade the hexed person from engaging in acts the spellcaster does not condone. In Madam's case, she only hexes people who disrespect her, and the hex is gone within a day. They take up a lot of her energy. Hexes are moderately complex, and I've never had any issues lifting them before. A curse is a harmful spell meant to damage the person it's directed at. Curses are difficult to lift, and often cause physical harm to the person they're directed at. So, with that in mind, know that Madam has never done anything physically harmful, and I don't believe she ever will. Her hexes consist of mild loss of money, misplaced important objects, emotional disturbances, items falling, dizziness, and irritation. Many of you are concerned about my younger sister. I'd like to let you all know that Madam has never harmed her in any way. Madam and my sister get along quite well, and my sister is no longer wary of her. My parents had hexes placed on them after they disrespected Madam, but after they apologized, the hexes were lifted. No one has been hexed in over a month now. Let me put this in perspective for you. You're a confused person who's just been brought into a new home with people who are continuously disrespecting you. You're angry? Yes. No one enjoys being disrespected. So, since this was Madam's situation, she lashed out and caused some disturbances to get our attention and let us know she does not want to be disrespected or ignored. Madam hadn't received much kindness until she came into my home, and after a couple weeks, she was very much at ease. She doesn't expect to be given gifts, but if she receives them, she reciprocates kindness in the form of good luck. So, with that in mind, you can also make note that I don't believe Madam to be a demon. Demons often, but not always, please do your research on demonology, have malicious intent towards the residents of a home. Demons also are less likely to attach themselves to an object, and would rather attach themselves to a person. There's a difference between a demon and an angry spirit. An angry spirit needs an issue to be resolved, while a demon preys on people simply for the reason of being negative to feed off of the harm it causes. I've also received the comment that I don't need to know the reason Madam would like to be buried, and to an extent, I agree with this statement. Madam suffered a painful, tragic death at a young age, and because of this, her reasons for burial could be very personal. I'm glad she trusted me enough to come to me about her request. I won't push her for a response on why she'd like to be buried. I'd rather just follow through with the request. So, with all this said, I am going to bury Madam. I will not be burying her at my home, so in case something goes wrong with the burial, she doesn't attach herself to my home. Tonight is a full moon, so I'll be working with Madam in my dreams tonight to find out if there is anywhere specific she'd like to be buried. I'll be salting the ground where I bury her, and I'm going to make potions to seal off the area. I have enough flowers, herbs, and crystals for protection, along with some oils, incense, candles, and pentagrams. Please, do not comment that pentagrams are demonic, because they are not. I'll be working with a sister witch during the burial as well, as an extra safety measure. I cannot verbally express how happy I am that so many people were willing to help Madam, and believe me, she's even more pleased than I am. The whole house feels very light today, and the animals have been extra happy. I'm in awe over the kindness and concern we've received, and I'm so glad you all decided to help. Thank you so much for all your efforts. As for the picture of Madam many of you requested, she was able to express to me that I can put up a picture of her. I ask everyone to be respectful and kind. Again, thank you all so much.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.